Okay, hello everyone and welcome back. So I don't know if this is well known or not, but it's something I noticed recently just on accident, and I figured I'd make a short video about it. So in 7.2.5, in that patch, they released the lamps and the enhanced pickpocketing for rogues, which allow you to collect these coins of air down here. I've got 24,000 right now with a maximum of 2 million. And I realized that I'm pretty confident if you have all 3 lamps in your inventory, instead of just the best lamp you get at the very end of the quest, you actually get more coins of air by having all the lamps compared to just one of the lamps. And you kind of have this sense that you should just have the final lamp in your inventory, that's all you need, but actually if you have all 3 it seems to do more. So we're going to do a little experiment today. And what we're going to do is we are going to pickpocket 20 mobs in Suramar with all 3 lamps attached, and then we are going to pickpocket 20 more mobs in Suramar with only 1 lamp attached. And we're gonna do the math, and we're gonna see what the average is for pickpocketing these 20 mobs with 3 lamps compared to 1 lamp. And I'm pretty confident. What are we up to now? 4. This is I think our 4th one. I'll do the counting after the videos, after I record all this. So we're going to speed up everything, and we're just going to go through and do all 20, and then we'll come back with the single lamp. We'll do another 20, and then we'll add it up and show the math at the very end. Okay, so we are back here, and we're at the same mobs, and we have the gleaming lamp alibi. So this is the 1 lamp, and this is the best lamp you can get. So we're going to compare by farming up, pickpocketing 20 of these mobs, and see what we end up getting. Okay, so now the real test is, and what's interesting is these gleaming lamps, this is the best of the 3 lamps you can get. None of these are soul-bound, are unique, so you can have more than one of them. So I went ahead and bought 5, and 500 gold a piece. And we're going to see if we even get more by having 5 of these compared to just having just a single one. So here we are, we have now sampled 20 different pickpockets from these 3 conditions, and so we actually went ahead and graphed this, because I think it's the easiest way to represent these data. And what you might notice, look on the leftmost graph first, so this is figure A. The blue line represents having 1 of each lamp, which is the first test we did. The red line is an example of the single gleaming lamp, which is the second test we did. And then the green line is the 5 lamps that we did at the very end. You might notice that the scale on the y-axis, the number of coins that we pickpocketed per sample along the x-axis, you can see the 20 different pickpocketings. There's an outlier here. The 1 gleaming, we happen to get on like the 3rd or 4th pickpocket, we happen to get an epic item. And from the other tests I've done outside of this, just when I was playing around with this, and as I started to kind of put this theory together, I really don't think there's any reason to believe that having just a single gleaming lamp gives you a better chance of getting an epic. I've definitely gotten an epic with what I think is similar frequency, having 1 of each lamps. So when I looked at these data on the left, I also worked out the average, the mode, and the median. And talking about the average, we just we add up the totals and divide by the number of samples. The mode is the most common number that occurred, which doesn't really have a lot of value in this case. I just threw it in for fun. And the median would be kind of the middle number of the range. What we ended up seeing here, in my opinion, is that there's really not clearly the average on the leftmost graph for the 1 gleaming lamp experiment was much higher. It was double what anything else was, the second highest being one of each lamp. However, I just don't know if I trust this result on the left, because I really think of that one gleaming lamp, the fourth sample, third sample, getting that epic as being a huge outlier, because that one pickpocket gave us 10,000 coins of error. And if you look at the median of the three, I think it's pretty clear that on the leftmost, the one of each seems the best. Roughly double the single gleaming, or maybe 50%, a little more than 50%, maybe 60% better than the 5 gleaming experiment. And so I wasn't sure if this was as clear as I would like, so I went ahead and threw out the left, from the left graph, the data point that had 10,000 coins from the single pickpocket where we got the epic. I threw that data point out, and I went and did one more pickpocket with the one gleaming lamp experiment, and then added that in place of the 10,000 that we got from the single epic. And that is what you're seeing on the right. So the rightmost graph is the removal of a single epic loot outlier from the one gleaming lamp test, and the other two, the one of each lamp and the 5 gleaming lamps experiments are the same. I didn't go and pickpocket more for those. When you look at it this way, now of course the y-axis shrunk down from a 12,000 peak on the left axis, on the left graph, to a 1,200 peak on the right graph, and it's so you have to understand the scale has shrunk. But now it looks a little clearer to me that having one of each of these lamps seems better in the sample size we took of 20 pickpocketings. It's possible, and certainly I would like to do a more thorough test with more pickpocketing, maybe 100 or 1,000 samples of each. But this is a kind of a quick experiment I wanted to do just to play around a little and kind of see if this seems to hold true. And so far, looking at graph B on the right, I'm pretty confident that having all 3 of these lamps actually does improve the amount of coins you get. It seems pretty significant to me. I don't know if I'm convinced that having 5 gleaming lamps is necessarily better than 1 gleaming lamp. And to be fair, there's no statistical analysis done on any of these data, so it's very possible there's actually no significant difference here. I honestly didn't take the time to do any statistical analysis, but just by feel, which is not very scientific, but just by feel, I'm pretty confident that having all 3 lamps in your inventory will get you more coins over a period of time than just having a single gleaming lamp, or just having any number of any of the individual lamps. So having 5 gleaming, I don't think is going to make much of a difference over 1 gleaming lamp, but we need more data points to really be sure. Anyway, if you're out there and you're a rogue and you want to collect more coins of error, my suggestion is to get 1 of each lamp. It's 500 gold a piece, so it's only 1,000 gold more than the 500 you already have for the lamp that you were given as your quest reward for the gleaming lamp. So I would say go ahead, spend 1,000 gold, and I think it will pay for itself eventually, at least until Blizzard nerfs it. Let me know in the comments if you agree with this kind of outcome, my conclusion. I could be wrong, and to my knowledge, this hasn't really been shared before. I don't know, I didn't see it anywhere else, so very possibly it has been, in which case I apologize for repeating known stuff. But otherwise, that was my little experiment, and that's all for today. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.